Russia-Ukraine war has wreaked havoc on our pricing of commodities. Everybody was angry. Then they said somebody had stolen $1 million. Stolen $1 million and put in her house. She and her husband. They are a government minister. He's stolen money. Vindication is in the womb of time. Today, people are tagging me on all kinds of things about this story. Three candidates lost election. Some people won election on the back of a story that in the vindication of time, we now know that is not true. So it was not true. So no money had been stolen. Ghana, no money had been stolen. Ghana. Oh, I feel like crying. Devastated. I wish Nana Sase can render a poem about this. Our beloved Ghana. Please see whether I can get me Ghana, my happy home. That song, look for it if you can find it. Ghana. Our beloved Ghana. This is how we treat it. So it is not true. It was not true. There was no truth in it. They say no direct something. What words do they use? I've forgotten. It wasn't true. Auntie Sisi, we are sorry. Papa, we are sorry. There's nothing for us to say. We are just sorry. We can't say anything else. Oh, this matter. It was not true. This is serious, you know. I'd like to go back and read this letter of 22nd July 2023. It reads as follows. The President, 22nd July 2023. Dear Cecilia, I have received your letter dated Saturday, 22nd July 2023, resigning from office as Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources and as a member of the government. It is with considerable regret that I accept your resignation. I wish you the very best in all your endeavors. At the time he wrote this, there was no talk of FBI or CIA or anything. No one even knew the dimensions that this was going to take. Today, vindication has come in the womb of time. Ghana, our Ghana. Wow. Wow. Let me have Auntie Sisi again and apologize. Let me have Auntie Sisi and apologize. Auntie Sisi, we are sorry. Why? We did a send me anywhere. Becca. Yentimi Yahushi. And him guase Diego, Yentimi carry. And him guase Diego Dada. That Dada a comfort that I could risk the question them. Yentimi carry. Or Beno Kono Obari. Nona fear or Beno Kono Obari. In Yuma Johnny. Okay, Dada and Yuma Johnny. Oh, this country, let's hold it well. It's a beautiful country with an amazing future. Let's hold Ghana well. Let's forget about the past. Let's forgive those who have done what they have done. Let's forgive them. Let's forgive them in our hearts. Let's forgive them in our minds. And let's focus. Because even those people, they still have something to contribute. Let me have President Mahama and Samia Okudzeto again. Even those people, they still have something to contribute. Samia Okudzeto is young. He still has something to contribute. So let's forgive them. And let's tap into their talents. And let's work together and build a great nation. Because we are capable of doing that. Thank you very much. This is the end of my editorial. Ghana, my happy home.
Ghana, my happy home, my happy home. Land of rich resources. Land of mighty talent, racial tolerance, justice and freedom. Ghana, my happy home, home of the brave and virtuous. Land of smiling people and charming faces and glorious culture. I will strive for thee, glorious Ghana. I will die for thee, glorious Ghana. I will appease thy name in all I think, tolerance, justice and freedom. Justice and freedom. Ghana, my happy home, my happy home. Home of the brave and virtuous. Land of smiling people and charming faces and glorious culture. I will strive for thee, glorious Ghana. I will die for thee, glorious Ghana. I will uplift thy name in all I think or speak or do. I will strive for thee, glorious Ghana. I will die for thee, glorious Ghana. I will uplift thy name in all I think or speak or do. I will strive for thee, glorious Ghana. I will die for thee, glorious Ghana. I will uplift thy name in all I think or speak.
All right, welcome back to the show, and let's take some text messages, and then we're going to talk about K-Salatu Forcing. We advertise it. We have a beautiful story about him. Okay, let me start with see what are people saying.
Very much, Paul. Now we have a message from Julius Amwako, which says the best political show in Ghana, la meilleure émission politique sur Ghana. Also, we have another message from Kandapa Hamza, which says, watching you live from Wa Metropolis, Apostle Paul Adomotre. Je vous regarde en direct de Wa Metropolis, l'apôtre Paul Adomotre. Finally, we have another message from Daniel Obeng. Paul, you are great. I just love watching your show. God bless you. Vous êtes formidable. J'adore regarder votre mission. Que Dieu vous bénisse. Over to you, Ansaba.
Okay. Coming from Kofi Teji, he says, the USP is gradually losing his integrity. From Mauli, he says, vindication is in the womb of time. And lastly, from Richard Adomako, he says, watching live from Arizona, USA, what a fantastic program. Over to you, Fatih.
All right, thank you, Ansaba. So coming from Manuel Darko, he says, the only thing Okudjeto ever seems capable of offering is a stream of lies and deception, all while parading himself as though he were the embodiment of justice. He hides behind a facade, pretending to speak for truth and fairness, yet everything that comes from him is tainted with dishonesty and mischief. There is absolutely no sincerity in him, no integrity, no substance, just empty words, crafted to mislead the public and score cheap political points. He thrives on propaganda, twisting facts, and, to suit his agenda while presenting himself as a defender of the people. Samuel Yao says, why are you blaming only Okudjeto? The president also supports his opposition minority at the time, not to support former presidents who tried to purchase an airplane for government. Ibrahim Titus also says the president hasn't seen anything yet. He was very happy when his current foreign minister was busy criticizing Akufo-Addo administration wanting to buy a private jet for the state. And lastly, coming from Hewi Bedu, says politics of men. The most secured handcuff is when your own words trap your own hands. Now back to you, Paul.
All right, let me read some text messages that are coming to my phone as well. Somebody says that I made them shed tears on the editorial. I'm sorry about that as well. Okay, another one says, good evening, Paul. Your editorial just made me shed tears. Two people, actually. Indeed, Ghana, my happy home. God bless you. God bless you. Continue to do your work without fear or favor. He mentions his name, but I can't mention it because he says he's at Standard Chartered Bank head office. I don't want to put him into trouble. Okay, let's look at the Reverend Intim Fojo is in the studio, by the way. He's eager to come and share with us what is the issue about presidential planes, helicopters. Where are we on that matter, and where are we? Why are we where we are? Richard, Dr. Richard Yeboah Asante says, Paul, why are you crying more than the bereaved? President Mahama is strong, healthy, young, and ready to serve. He has not complained about the nearly 23 hours transit. I believe my brother Okatakyie Ablakwa kept him company and offered him more comforting engagement during the short 23-hour transit in Dubai. Short, he puts in inverted commas. I have to say something about the Cocoa Board story because I've been engaging with Randy Abe. He's told me a few things, and I will let you know in a minute. That Cocoa Board story about he sucking people, something like that. Another one says that please, I cannot wait to catch your eye, as they say in Parliament. Okay, thank you very much for watching. So many text messages coming in on this one. Okay. Nana Hesi Ojiri says that, good evening, Paulus. I don't think a state of buying a plane for the president is an issue. As Openye Jekum says, if you see two people fighting, ask what happened yesterday. The worst of Okudjeto Ablakwa is hunting the government, so they do not know how to communicate with Ghanaians about purchasing a new jet. The NDC forgot that when you point a finger at someone, 4 other fingers are pointing at you, etc., etc. Keep your text messages coming in. This is Good Evening Ghana and is live. We're going to continue with the show. Reverend Tim Forjo is in the studio. We'll be speaking to him about, he's the ranking member on defense, and we'll be talking to him about the jets and all that. National Democratic Congress, my other favorite political party, the party of Flight Lieutenant Rawlings and Dr. Obeda Samoa and Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings is my favorite. Let's have Kesalato Force in here. Now, viewers, it's very interesting. Something is happening. Something is really cooking. My brother Kesalato Forsen is headed for the presidency. Can you imagine that? Fantastic. Now, a survey that we have seen shows that Kesalato Forsen could be in pole position to be one of the presidential flag bearers for the NDC for the 2028 election. Now, where did this come about? This is coming about as a result of what is thought to be Kesalato Forsen's super performance as Minister for Finance, picking up dollar in the very beautiful way now. Still, the dollar is at 10, something like that. So, Kesalato Forsen and some of his supporters are pushing him to run for the presidency. He's going to have a very hot contest against seasoned men and women of the party. Kesalato Forsen, I know a little bit. I know him from his work in Parliament. He used to be a Deputy Minister of Defense as well. But here's the catch. Kesalato Forsen will be competing, if this works, with the Honorable Julius Debra. I don't know well. I never really did know him. Let me see what Asidu Ketia is here. Haruna Idrisu is here too. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I like this one. So, Kesalato Forsen is in there. Johnson Asidu Ketia, the obvious front runner, chairman of the party, great NDC person, somebody I know quite well because we're neighbors in Sakumono. So I know him. I'm going to talk about him tonight. Julius Debra, I don't know that well. And I've been asking myself that, how don't I know him? And I got the answer. You see, Julius Debra has never been connected to the communication part of the NDC from way back. He's actually been connected to the deep side of the NDC in the cadres. Those who are working really down the roots, that's where he's been. He's gone to Cuba and all that. He's a proper cadre of the party. So those of us who are media people and journalists, news reporters, we have been connected to the NDC talking sides. Ototo Bikwachi, Kojo Yanka, Kwame Pepra, the people who do communication, Rawlings himself, and then Asidu Ketia, of course, and others. So I've noticed that Johnson Asidu Ketia is sort of picking up a new image for himself. You know who he is already. Johnson Asidu Ketia is also like Keda in there. And he was a member of parliament, and sometimes he makes people laugh and all that. But he's a very deep thinker. I've noticed that he's trying to pick up a middle-class socialist leadership image. I think he wants to use that to help his political agenda. He knows that from where he's coming, there are not many middle-class supporters. So look at him here. Look at the way he's dressed. He's dressed like Chairman Mao. He's capturing himself in the leadership of the Communist Party of old, leadership of a socialist movement. You know, instead of being in cloth at a funeral like this at the big Akan, he's wearing his communisto, beautifully done political suit. He has his nice spectacles. And you see that Asidu Ketia is changing his image. He's trying to get the image of a kind of middle-class person who is also grounded to the roots. And he's hoping that with that, he can collect 100% of the votes. So this is not the Johnson Asidu Ketia you knew of 20 years ago. This is the Johnson Asidu Ketia who is ready for a presidential contest. You can see that. Ah, there you go. This is Johnson Asidu Ketia who is capturing himself in a really different mode. There you see him going that way. So the Honorable Johnson Asiedu Ketia is preparing and packaging his image. Now, if he secures the support of Fifi Kwete, that's going to be very, very, very solid. But Atu Forson is why we are talking about this. I'll come back to that. Julius Debra, I don't know. I'm not engaged with him. But how did I know? So I knew of a story that when Professor Mills was president, there was some guy who they said was very close to the NDC, very close to Mills, very formidable within the NDC. That Professor Mills didn't give a job to, the days of David Lamte. Those who know David Lamte will know, may he rest in peace. The days of David Lamte, I heard all of those stories. That there was this guy who was very powerful, very close to Mills, and Mills struggled to exclude him from the government. And everyone was talking about how well he has taken it. I didn't get the name of the person at that time. I only found out last month, in July, when the chief of staff was addressing the Mills event. And then he said the same story I had known, but I didn't know who the story was about. And he said the story was about himself. And I said, so this is Julius Debra. Listen to the story when he talked at the Mills event. Listen.